This show is clean, pretty much.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 672. Hello, it's Mike Matthews broadcasting from the last place on earth located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California. Today, Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer, plus it's the finale of my Into an Interview with singer-songwriter extraordinaire Chris Mills, and the director of Man of Steel and XMEN movies is having some problems. Mike's Daily Podcast. Because those sort of things, you know, those issues, we try to solve them. Mike's Daily Podcast. Although this one I don't think we'll be able to solve. So this was something that happened yesterday. Madame Rutabaga got married to a guy. His name was Ray, and he was a Brussels sprout ice cream maker. That's something that I don't think will get many takers. We also landed on a big plastic bag island. Mike's Daily Podcast. The last place on earth flew there because we were going to build a resort on not the best of ideas. Mike's. But hey, Daily. My name is Leah. Podcast. Matthews. Yeah! For the rest of this show, my name is Leah. And I'll stick with Mike. I like the alliteration. Mike Matthews. So, what else is going on? Speaking of X-Men, the new X-Men movie, they've got the cover, Entertainment Weekly. It's got, like, Jennifer Lawrence in that, what is that character she plays? The Smurf woman in the bikini. And she's got the red hair. But I don't know if it's the red hair that talks to you so much as it is her blue breasts. I don't know what's going on there, but Jennifer Lawrence's blue breasts seem to be speaking to the world. And I think we can all sleep more comfortably at night knowing that. And then also, what? I had so few listeners on my most recent show that Dave's Crappy Bowling Podcast even offered to give me a couple of downloads. Mike, we'll throw some stats your way, some listeners. Thank you, David's Crappy Bowling Podcast. It can't even decide if its name is Dave or David. But who cares? It's all about crappy bowling, and that's going to be a more interesting podcast than this one. Oh, look, it just walked in. Hello, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, the good star supervisor. I really think that Jennifer Lawrence's mystique costume is, like, so rad. I wish I was wearing it right now. I don't. But it was apparently all body paint, according to dailymail.co.uk. To embody the superhuman, the 23-year-old actress had to undergo hours of airbrushing as her toned figure was covered head to toe in blue body paint. And for the Entertainment Weekly cover shoot, she went under the airbrush once more as she posed almost totally nude, except for the body paint and some artfully placed artificial scales. That's what it is. It's a scales bikini. I like that, Mike Matthews. I want to have a scales bikini. And so you should have one. Oh, look who just walked in. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman! And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, we have scales bathing suits. Would you like to see us put them on? No, what is this? Stop assaulting me with visual stimuli that I don't want to be stimulated with. Oh, Mike, come on. Don't be such a stick in the mud. They let us wear them on Dave's Crappy Bowling Podcast because I'm Floyd the Floorman. And, well, that's why his podcast is better than mine, I guess. Because he lets you guys wear weird things like that. Oh, Floyd, come on, no. Wow, those aren't even like the mystique scales. Those are like fish scales. Yeesh. I went the organic route. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't have. Mike, maybe you're right. Maybe it's not such a good idea. I will recreate the Mystique bathing suit in a different material. My suggestion is Teflon. Hey, this happened also with X-Men. As the movie is coming out, a lawsuit was filed yesterday against the director, Bryan Singer, for sexually abusing a teenage boy 15 years ago. The director allegedly offered the aspiring teen actor a role in X-Men if he gave in to his sexual demands while threatening to destroy his career if he didn't. This according to a civil suit filed in the U.S. District Court in Hawaii. Interestingly enough, that's a great place to wear a Mystique bikini. But that's neither here nor there. Bryan Singer's lawyer is very confident that they will get through this, and they call the lawsuit absurd. And it is obvious, they say, that this case was filed in an attempt to get publicity at the time when Bryan's new movie is about to open in a few weeks. The alleged abuse apparently took place in a California mansion. Doesn't it always happen in a California mansion? California mansions, I don't trust them. California yurts, however, those are sound. So what do you think about this whole thing? And are you going to go see the new X-Men movie? And are you excited to see what they're going to do with the massive cast of characters? Let's see, you've got a couple of Oscar nominees in this movie. And Oscar winners, too. And the new Spider-Man movie apparently has some sort of connection at the end of the movie to this X-Men movie. What do you think about all of it? Email me, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. I read your comments on the section emails from email. Also, email me there if you'd like to be a guest on the show or if you would like to sponsor the show, mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. And check out the website, mikesdailypodcast.com, where I have the blog and the daily podcast picture. And we have links to where to listen to the show in iTunes. Subscribe to us there, and when I post a new show, you'll get it instantly. There's also links to where to find us on Facebook, like the Facebook page. And when I post a new show, share it with your friends so more people find out about us. It's a great way to support the show. Another great way is to go to the Amazon Deal of the Day portal that we have on mikesdailypodcast.com. Click on that and buy something, and that helps out the show. And you get a discount on something that they got on Amazon. And that's really a great thing. You know what else we have? Our links to where to find us on Twitter, YouTube, Yelp, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher, Mixcloud, as well as Mike's Daily Podcast Radio. It's on the left-hand side of the page. You can find it there at mikesdailypodcast.com.
Into an interview.
I'm speaking with Chris Mills, chrismillsmusic.com. There he is. He just said hello. Did you hear that? Wow. And you performed just you and your guitar opening for Ben Folds for a while?
I did. Yeah, no, I played with, I went and I did like, oh my God, months and months with Ben, Chasing the Bus. That tour nearly destroyed me.
That I heard about that on that other podcast with your friends. and yeah, so say that you were chasing his butt. You have to be wherever Ben is.
So like if you're Ben Folds, like say you're Ben Folds.
Hi, I'm Ben Folds.
I'm Chris Mills. Okay.
She's a brick and I'm... Okay,
Exactly. So you would finish that song, and everyone would cheer, and then you would run off stage, and you would get in your tour bus, and it would be like 11 o'clock at night, and you would be in Idaho. And then the next day, or the day after that, you would have to play in Omaha. But because you have a bus driver, you just go sleep in your bunk, and then your driver drives all night until you get to the place, and then you wake up. But if you're me, you come off stage, and you wait, and you have to just kind of wait till Ben's done playing. And then you have to, I didn't have a driver.
And you had a driver.
So he could have a show that was like 10 hours away the next day. And his driver would drive overnight, and the next morning they would be there and wake up and be all refreshed. I would have to go to sleep and then drive 10 hours and then play the show.
Ugh.
And then do it again the next day. So that's what chasing the bus is.
That is stressful.
So I did that for months, 3 or 4 months. But my wife, Nora, came with me on the first 3 weeks of that tour when we first met. And she wasn't doing anything. She wasn't working. And I was like, somebody called and said, do you want to go on tour with Ben Folds? And I'm going to be by myself. Do you want to come with me?
Mm-hmm.
And she came with me.
Wow.
About years later, she almost flew home 3 different times.
She said
I didn't know about. Because traveling with a singer-songwriter by himself to the western states is apparently not all it's cracked up to be. But that said, she did eventually marry me.
Yeah.
And we are married to this day.
Oh.
And have a little baby.
That's
So that was a good thing that came out of that. And also it was really, and I met a lot of nice people, and we had the show at the Paramount in Seattle. The people, well, they were very attentive. They laughed at all my jokes.
wow.
They applauded effusively after each song. And,
Effusively.
And they bought a bunch of records. But it was just like, I don't know if I've ever been as comfortable. I mean, I probably have since then. But that was that was a really big show for me. There were 1,500, 2,000 people going there. And, and I was just on my own. And it was the first show of this big tour. I don't know, it was really magic.
And Ben Folds, with making you travel all those, he was a brick and you were slowly drowning.
That's right.
How odd.
That is right.
But I've tried to follow a schedule where, you've got to be in this town. I drove from Los Angeles to Huntsville, Alabama, because I was moving to Huntsville for a radio job. And
cool.
My wife at the time and I, we traveled cross country, and it was like, okay, we got to be in Amarillo tonight. We got a hotel booked, and it was just sort of so stressful. We had like arguments and all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a lot. It's a lot, but but it was, it was an experience, and all things have led to, where I am now, which is great.
And now, Chris Mills, the world comes to you, because I heard about this Skype concert you did where you were like Skyping to someone in Europe or something.
Oh yeah, no, I've done a couple. I did one for a guy in Scotland. His wife or his girlfriend got it for him for his birthday. It was really great. And then I did another one for some people out in Kansas. The else's birthday. It was really great. The people, you just kind of get on the computer and you can talk to them, and you can, they can request songs and tell about the song, and, it was really good. You don't have to go anywhere.
And technology has changed so that, like, you can get feedback. And how has it changed? Like, back in the old days, how would you get feedback from your fans?
Oh, my God. I don't know. I mean, you mean like from people?
Yeah, like fans.
Not like just my guitar too close to the amp. I would get, I'd email maybe, letters every now and then. I used to get like actual mail from people every once in a while. I got a letter from like one of the troops once. That was really meaningful.
Awesome.
People email and stuff, but now it's much more immediate and much more, like people like things. Like you can put something on like Facebook and then people will like it. And show their support. It's not always like they like it. It's more like I support this or something.
Right.
Because you see people put up things like, oh, my uncle died, and he was a great guy, but now, he had a heart attack, and then people will be like, and then they'll have like 50 likes. I find that really confusing.
Yeah. It's no. In that situation, you need to comment. You don't say like. Yeah. You need to say, "I'm sorry for your loss." You don't just get the lazy way out of clicking like.
But apparently it's acceptable. People do it now. But so that's good. You can track things. See where things are played a little bit more. There's a lot more data. That's available, which I think is good. But the audience is much more dispersed now, which means that data does not always translate into cash. That is not as good. But eventually, who knows?
But you did a Kickstarter that was pretty successful.
I did do a Kickstarter, and that did translate into cash, and that was incredible. It was really good. It made enough money for me to do a lot of to work with Brian Freeland and to do, touring stuff that I wouldn't have been able to do. And I thought it was really great. I like the Kickstarter model. I'm not sure how often one can do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of got me back in the flow of things and got me back in touch with people, and I met a lot of new people through that and new fans, and so that was great. So yeah, I think there's a lot of ways people are searching for sort of experience and connection now that we're so sort of isolated by technology in many ways. In other ways, you can use it to actually develop real meaningful, experiences and relationships with people. Yeah. So I think it was a good way to go for this record, and I think it's nice to be able to have more one-on-one contact with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which social media do you think works the best? Is it still Facebook, or is Twitter better?
For me, I got them all linked in. You got, you got your Instagram. So you take your Instagram, and then you hook that into your Twitter, and then your Twitter cascades into your Facebook, and then it goes all the way. One picture, and bam, it's out there. And you get likes, and you're getting like retweets and favorites, which you get on Twitter, and then you get like those little heart icons on your Instagram. So like them all.
I love how and it cascades into the Facebook. I love that. It's like a big natural waterfall of data.
It's all automated now. I have I just have my phone taped to a dog, and it runs around and just Instagrams things. And you get like hundreds of likes. It's crazy.
Oh, I'm gonna get on your Instagram. I want to see this stuff. I'm gonna post.
All you got to do now. You don't even have to do anything. It's all right there.
I'm gonna post an Instagram. This happened today. The first picture will be of my lawn, which I took, and the lawn I hadn't cut it since like October of last year, so it was about a good waist high lawn. And then
excellent.
And then I cut the lawn, and then I show the lawn short, and then I show my dog, my boxer Basil, and he's laying, and he really misses the grass. He liked it all along because he liked
eating.
Wild.
He's a wild animal.
Yeah,
he's a domesticated wild animal. So he likes things that remind him of, his ancestors running through the shrubbery.
That's right. They were having a good running through the shrubbery.
They're having a good old time doing that. But luckily, grass will grow back.
That's right.
And he'll have his folly yet again.
And wait, so the drummer plays with Brandi Carlile?
He does.
And what's that? So there's that one song she does where it sounds like she's about to scream and break down at the exact same time. That got some airplay, and it's as she goes into the last chorus. And I've seen so many women at open mics try and do that song, and they can never break their voices like Brandi does. All of these tears on the story.
But I have seen her.
Yeah.
She's very good.
Oh, okay.
It's hard, But the thing is, she's a professional.
Yeah.
She's spent years figuring out how to make people think she's either going to cry or scream and leaving them guessing.
That's
takes
true.
Takes a lot of training to walk that line.
Well, I want to talk about the song, the title track from your latest album, Alexandria.
Yes.
What inspired this song, Chris Mills?
Oh, this song. This is a good one. Now, what inspired it? That song is actually a little bit about having writer's block.
Oh.
It's about searching for something that you once had, and then you're sort of searching for it, and it's got things it talks about lost languages and things like that. So that's where it started, and then it evolved into this. All of the songs in the record, I try and kind of create this evocative world in which the songs take place. So they start off with a little kernel of an idea like that, and then you kind of take that idea and you place it inside whatever the world is that you're trying to create, and then you see where it goes.
Interesting. You're creating a world.
Yeah.
You're like a director of a movie. You're like saying this. I'm Tim Burton, and this is my stage, my, if you will, my setting. Oh,
well, that's the way. I think that's the way. I don't know much about writing, but I think that's the way that people write things. But I think that's kind of what you do, right? You have your characters, and then you have the world, and then you let the characters sort of act as they normally would within the world, and that creates your story.
That's why I like your songs. You put thought into it.
Oh, thank you.
That's very awesome. Okay. Well, let's listen to Alexandria, because you've set it up in such a cool way that now we must follow through with it and delight the listener. And
fantastic.
It is from the album Alexandria. Alexandria would be the city?
As the city, the ancient city of Alexandria, where the ancient library was, that held all of the world's ancient knowledge, and then it caught on fire and burned to the ground, and all that knowledge is lost.
Oh, that's so sad. That named after Alexander the Great, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then I don't know if it was like Attila the Hun or somebody who sacked Alexandria. I don't know. One of those other people.
Sad.
Probably the Huns.
I remember the old Cosmos show, because Cosmos is back now with Neil deGrasse Tyson, but the old one with Carl Sagan, he actually walks into that library.
Really?
They used old, this is back in the 70s, and I remember watching it as a kid, and they did like a whole green screen thing where he's walking around, and they built this library, but I think it was like a miniature. But, it was back when miniatures were all cool, and Star Wars.
Miniatures are still cool.
They are still cool. I wasn't belittling miniatures, was I? But by their very nature, they're little.
Yeah. They're cool. They're like diminutive versions of real things.
Oh, it's
great.
So, chrismillsmusic.com is your website, and people can go there and find out where to get their hands on Alexandria and other albums from you.
And where we'll be playing and all those other things. Yeah.
Chris, thanks for taking time to speak to me.
Thank you. Oh, no problem. Anytime.
chrismillsmusic.com, and I can't wait to see you perform live at an event.
Yeah, I hope I'll be back out your way and before too long.
If I go to the makeout room, maybe I'll be able to make out with someone.
Possibly.
Chris, thanks again. And here is Alexandria on Mike's Daily Podcast. Chris Mills and the Distant Stars with Alexandria as we go outside of the last place on earth where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, California.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And the picture is a fun one of Basil the Boxer. He was playing with a dog at Half Moon Bay. This was a couple of weeks ago. And Leanne Caldwell took a picture of Basil and sent it to me. And it is just so cool to see him. He's sort of in mid-flight as he's running along, playing with this dog. The sand looks like snow. And by the way, I should mention that Leanne Caldwell works for the Pleasanton Veterinary Hospital. And in fact, in a month from now, they're going to be having their 30th anniversary celebration from 1 to 4 p.m. at their facilities. So FYI. And check out that picture there at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-.com. And I'll be heading over to that 30th anniversary party at the Pleasanton Veterinary Hospital with Basil the Boxer. He's so excited about that. Or maybe he is so disturbed by that Mystique scale bikini that you have on now, Chely Shoehart.
Mike Matthew, yeah, John Deere the engineer made it for me, and I think it looks really cool.
It does. It looks much better than the one Floyd was wearing earlier. And in fact, that material looks like it is quite sound and strong, and it covers you up nicely. And it'll probably be fine if you are going to be swimming in, let's say, the ocean at Half Moon Bay.
I would never swim in that. It's like really cold.
Yeah. Mike, we used this material that we found that comes off of a plant. Oh, no. Please say you're talking about cotton. No, we used coconut hairs. What? They can do that now? That's ingenious. Good job, John Deere, the engineer.
Yes, I thought I would fuse the fibers from the coconut plant, and I would make them into fiber products, such as clothes.
Excellent, and you won't get into trouble because you can't smoke that fiber and get high, unlike hemp.
You can't get high smoking hemp clothes.
Right, but like Joe Scarborough has a tizzy when he hears the word pot, so, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, he walks into a Trader Joe's and sees them selling hemp seeds, and he freaks out. Guy needs to put a lid on it.
You're absolutely right, Mike.
That's exactly what they said on Dave's Crappy Bowling Podcast! Can't I come up with one original thought? Dang it. Tomorrow we will bring you the return of the much-loved feature called News Random. Plus we'll hear from Benita, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player, and the Brewmaster.
Mike Matthews, I put my normal clothes back on because that Mystique bikini made out of coconut hairs was really starting to get scratchy.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah, I hate clothes that are irritating. That's why I don't wear my radioactive underwear anymore.
Good to know.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKES-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening to Dave's Crappy Bowling Podcast.
It's David!
Sorry.